Start right there. And there we go. 3, 2, and 1. Well, Mayor Wiza, welcome back to Mayor's Monday here at WSAU, WSAU.com. First off, everybody knows you're a big sports guy. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
You recognize
Good,
anything? You recognize anything I got going on here, or is this just all a bunch of money?
I can see the words Houston, and I know that's a city in Texas and Minnesota.
That's right. That's right. And believe it or not, the Houston Hurricanes are one of my favorite high school teams. So, yeah, that's what we got going on here.
There you lost me. Is that a Texas or a Minnesota thing?
That's a Minnesota thing. That goes back to my days covering high school football in Minnesota. But right. I digress. And again, anybody that is regular knows Mayor Wiza, knows me. So we've got to start with something awkward and stuff like that. So I mean, if we didn't, it would be weird. So yeah, but I mean, a lot of great stuff going on in Stevens Point. Last couple of weeks ago, we had Riverfront Rendezvous performers and acts finalized by the city. You're still in preparation mode for the Senior Open at Century World. Is this going to be the best summer in Stevens Point ever?
This is going to be the best summer ever. Absolutely. And it's funny because late last week I was finalizing the fireworks contract. And I just, I said, whatever the contract is, just blow stuff up. But
so you blew the contract up and then started over.
Yeah, right. No. So not only do we have some pretty great entertainment lined up, including Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, but it also, Riverfront Rendezvous is at the end of the USGA Men's Senior Open. So we're going to have a significant amount of people in here for the tournament. And the tournament's over, at dark. That's going to bring everybody probably downtown somewhere, right? Unless they're tired for the day and go to bed. So we want to make sure that not only do we have the best entertainment and food options, we've added some additional food trucks. We've got some entertainment on the west side of the river. And by entertainment, I don't mean bands, but we've got a pickleball tournament, horseshoe tournament. We're going to have some food trucks down there, trying to accommodate all of the extra people. But I also wanted to see the best fireworks show in Wisconsin. And because of that, we worked with our contractor to make sure that may not be longer, but it's going to be bigger and better. So I think we're going to see another spectacular fireworks display. We've done really well since we've been shooting off barges on the river. That has worked out well. So yeah, Riverfront Rendezvous is going to be extra special, the USGA Men's Senior Open. And then, of course, all summer long, we've got the city band playing on Wednesdays. We've got 11 on Thursdays. Also on Wednesdays, we've got a few not private, but out of the area type live music. PJ's has a live band, and we've got Notes at Night downtown. Almost every weekend, there's some sort of festival going on at the Piffner Pioneer Park. So, yeah, I would say this is going to be one spectacular summer.
Yeah, and on top of all that, I understand that the mayor is hosting the Mayor's Open pinball tournament at District 1 Brewing Company during the week of the Senior PGA. Is that correct? And can you confirm that you've gotten the likes of, you say, Greg Norman, John Daly in to participate?
John Daly is absolutely going to be there, and Greg Norman, that's the shark guy, right?
That's the shark, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be there too. But it's not just pinball. If you recall, I've got the RoboCop video game in my office. We're taking that to hole 16, which is normally the flower hole.
Yep.
But it's going to be dubbed the RoboCop hole for the entirety of the tournament. And anyone is actually welcome to play. But it's a round robin tournament, so you will always take on the winner. So if you win, you stay on the game. If
winner
you lose,
stays.
You go cry in your beer somewhere.
Yeah, winner. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
We're kidding about all of this stuff.
Yes, indeed.
Someone's going to call me up and say, "Really? You're going to strip the flower hole?" No, we
but we're not kidding. I mean, this is going to be absolutely spectacular. I know you and I were just talking. You've got some other things that you're trying to line up here in the next few weeks. We don't know if those are going to come to fruition yet, but it sounds like some great ideas going on. And I've got no doubt that the city of Stevens Point is going to put in an absolutely spectacular show on. for the golf world and put yourselves on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with all the television coverage that's going to be here for the tournament, we want to make sure that not only the players and their teams, but you know, the visitors, the spectators have a great time. And I know that local businesses are starting to collaborate and put together some activities for when the tournament is not going on. The downtown businesses I know are having like a mini golf challenge downtown where some of the businesses are going to have their own little putt-putt style golf green. And you can go down there, play a round of golf with putt-putt and win some prizes. You know, the Tavern League, I think, is putting something together. So this is not just a golf tournament. There is so much more that's going on that even if you're not into golf very much, I think you would be very interested in seeing some of the things that are going on. Tickets are still on sale, and that's very affordable. Everyone under 17 gets in for free, and tickets start at $25. And even on site at Century World, they're going to have things that are maybe golf related, but not exclusively golf. So there's really something for everyone that's going to be happening during that last week of June, first week of July here in Stevens Point.
Indeed. Now on to the business of the city, as if that's, you know, not business enough, because you are going to certainly be scooping the money off the streets when that is all said and done. But a lot of discussion now. This kind of is a story that burned. It burned hot. It burned bright, but it burned out pretty quick. A few weeks ago, you were in discussions with the county about basically what would have been a new county government campus. Right there in the middle of downtown Stevens Point. There was a lot of proposals thrown around there. It would have involved in part moving City Hall as well, which I know is something that's always kind of been on the back burner for you. Give us an update on where this is going right now, because it sounds like you had an offer on the table and that offer may have evaporated already.
Yeah, I think they pulled the tablecloth out on that one. There's two locations, right? The county has needed a new jail and courthouse system for decades. I served on county board since 2005, and we talked about it at least twice during the time I served there. The most recent one was in 2015 when the county board voted to not only build a new justice center but build it downtown, and they acquired land to help facilitate that, giving them the county-owned land. Roughly 5 acres. Well, this new iteration said it required more, and the city put a bunch of things on the table, giving up to 14 acres in the downtown site because we felt it was that important. We've got letters from all 3 of the circuit court judges, the district attorney, downtown businesses, including law offices and things like that, supporting a downtown location because it is the most effective and efficient place for a government facility. During the day, the population of the city increases to about 50,000 because people from outside the city work in the city. The government facility is open during the day, so it makes the most sense to serve the most people. You want to have it in the core. Well, the county board recently voted, because it was cheaper to build on a greenfield site rather than making it multi-level on a downtown site. Because it was cheaper, they voted to have the facility outside of the downtown area. Still has to be within the city per state statute, but it was apparently cheaper. The downtown site was expected to cost about $165 million, but it was a split vote, and it wasn't quite 50-50, but I think it was somewhere in the 10-14 vote to have it outside of downtown. And then the very next week, they passed a resolution at committee level to fund the greenfield site for $180 million. And you remember me saying that the downtown site was 165, and they were voted for the green site because it was supposed to be cheaper, but now they're asking for 180 million for the green site. And actually tomorrow, May 2nd, is when the county is going to be voting on authorizing up $180 million borrowing to build on this greenfield site. I don't know how that's going to go, but I hope people at least raise some questions about why this was much more expensive now than the downtown site when everybody put these letters of support in. for a downtown location, and we're still going with the Greenfield site. But we're going to work with the county to the best of our ability either way, because we're partners in this. And if that's what the county board is choosing to do, we will work with them to the best of our ability to help them facilitate whatever decision they're finally making.
Yeah, so, and that was actually going to be my next question, because I'm guessing throughout this whole process, you and the county have both said we intend to communicate, we intend to work together. We're not going to get into some sort of stare down here. We do want that open communication. So I'm guessing that you want to support whatever decision that they make, and in the event that this maybe gets reversed and they do want to come back into downtown, that offer that we talked about remains on the table, correct?
It certainly does. If people understand that, boy, maybe the Greenfield site isn't everything they thought it was going to be, and they don't even have a site chosen yet, or at least nothing that we've been made aware of. So we could provide accurate numbers on what it would cost if they need. They will need water and sewer and very likely some road infrastructure. But we don't have an estimate on what that's going to be, because we don't have a location. Once we have a location, we can provide a much better estimate. But unfortunately, at that point, they'll have already voted to fund whatever it costs, I guess. So I'm a little confused as to the process. I'm not terribly pleased with their decision to not have it downtown, but we are in the same community. We all have the same goals. So if that's their decision, regardless of the way they got to that decision, or whether or not I believe it's a reasonable decision, we're going to work with them to the best of our ability to make sure that it's successful wherever it is.
Yeah, indeed, because as the old saying goes, rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. One more thing before we let you go. Again, throughout your tenure now, you're going to be going on 12 years, assuming that you serve out the 4 years that you were just elected to again. You've been a big proponent for the arts and creativity in the city. You've got another new piece that's going to be installed here pretty quickly that we're kind of excited about down in Piffner Pioneer Park.
Right. So we started this thing a while back. It actually started with Mayor Rosenberg up in Wausau and Mayor Chris Frederickson in Rhinelander at the time. We had a Mayor's Art Challenge, and whoever won that got some money to do some art projects in their city. Well, Stevens Point won, and we had a fabricator put together a light post that was kind of personified. We call it Singing in the Rain. So it's a light pole holding an umbrella. Really cool. And it was so successful. We got a bunch of ideas from community members to do some other ones. We found a sponsor for the second one, which we're calling Fish On, and that one's set to be installed. It could be installed as early as the first week of May coming up here. And it's going to be down by the river along the Green Circle Trail next to Cultural Commons. So it depicts a light pole catching a fish out of the Wisconsin River. The next one is already slated. We don't have a design for it yet, but we've got the idea. It's going to be a lumberjack to talk to our logging heritage. And we're looking for a sponsor for that one. We're looking, probably about $1,000 to get this thing made. We wouldn't be able to do it without the help of Andy Vollert, who's a local fabricator, and Stevens Point Coating, which is they do the powder coating on the light, part of Rudy Rack, I believe. But they've been very generous in providing donations for their time and services to help make these things happen. And it's going to be another one of those cool things you'll be able to see this summer down by the river.
Absolutely. I've got an idea for number 5. You remember the Stevens Point Brewery mascot, the guy with the pointy head, the cone head?
There you go.
Boom. That's
the head right is actually the light globe.
Exactly.
So we'd have to have someone make a light globe that comes to the point, but I think we can work with that.
Boom. Right
if
there.
If nothing else, we could do a light pole, drinking a beverage, whether it's a Point Root beer or one of their other products.
Indeed.
Maybe make that one happen.
We could do that. Absolutely. Have you been writing down all these ideas that we come up with?
I got a photographic memory. I see pictures in my head all the time. No.
Just don't lose the conversation if they're talking. Just don't lose the argument.
I'm sorry. What was that again? Where were
Oh, well, Mayor Wiza, we always appreciate the time. We'll look forward to chatting again next month.
All right, and go Houston sports ball.